hopefully you're coming here after you've seen the first part where we cover the main part. Okay, so in this video I'm going to cover the high harmony part, and we'll also do the little solo thing right there. That bit there, okay? But this high harmony part starts up here. You should, and if you haven't seen the first one, you should really watch out first because I go over all the picking and stuff in that one, right? But this high harmony, the picking is exactly the same as the main part, okay? But we just got a few different notes here. So we're going to start out here with little finger up on E14 and middle finger G11. Okay, and the picking's the same, so we get the G string and the E string bouncing off that open D. And then we do that little pull off, okay? So whereas the low part will start here, and pull off there, the high part starts here. Third up, right? So you're getting there. And then it pulls off the same notes though from the E to the D, E12 to E10. Okay, so that's your first figure. I'm going to come down to this figure here, and we're going to pull off of E12. And that's a bit of a stretch there, right? That's a tricky one. You could finger it like that too, but I just stay with that one because it's kind of consistent throughout. So we've got this one, now this one, down 2, there, on E9 to E7, back up 2, and instead of going here, we're going to come here. Okay, so it's E10 to E9. So that whole bit so far. Okay, now the low guitar is going to do this. Okay, and we're going to match that up here. But we're not going to pull off, okay? Because to maintain this form, we're going to have to pick it. You could always do it like this to pull off. But I just find that really awkward to get into that because, and I really don't think he would do that because we're kind of in these forms, right? So you kind of want to stay in those forms, okay? So what we're going to do here is we're going to go. Okay, so what we've got there is, it's like a G chord, it's like that, and you could play it that way. But then you've got a pretty quick change to that chord, a D chord, like a D bar chord there, but because that's the next chord, right? And that's just really awkward, and it's a lot easier to just keep that form that we're using, you know, all through the song, right? And the little finger here, so we go. And then that change now to that chord is way simpler because it's just getting our third finger from the E, putting it on the B, putting our first finger up here on, what is it, E5. So we're going to go, that's a much simpler change, right? Okay, so that's how I like to do it. So, and I use my middle finger for both those. The E string and the B string, and then pick the G string. Okay, then change the form, and we're going to pull off from B8 to B7 to the D note on G7. So from here, okay, and then we're going to take our finger off, first finger off here. Leave our middle finger on the D note, right, to match that. Okay, we're going to go, so instead of going, we're going to go, okay, so pull off of E5 to G7 to the low D, to the low E string, which is tuned to D, right? To the low D. So, and that's to match that of the first part, right? Okay, and then the last time, do it 4 times to match that, right? Okay, and that's it. That's the part. Okay, so let's do it from the beginning slowly. Okay, and that's your intro and also your bridge, all right? So now moving on, the singing's going to start, right? And we're going to harmonize with that part. And we're going to start up here. There, okay? And it's just going to be... Okay, so it's just... G7, E7, G7, E5, G4, and what is that? 3, E3. Just like G, right? Okay, so. Okay. And that just repeats 4 times, I guess. Okay, then the next bit is going to come up to here, which is like a C chord, right? I'm saying the same 2-note chords, the third and the root. We're going to go. Okay, so from that to here, and then drop our little finger down to here, down to E5. And then we're going to catch the G note here on B8. That's to match this, right? Okay, so back up here. And that rhythm the second time is different, right? Instead of the first time is the second time it's okay. And then we're going to come up here to this D shape. And no pull-offs or anything, you're just going to go. Okay. Alright, and then to finish it off, we're going to go down to that G shape. Okay. So let's take it from this part. What I do there again is I'll just mute those upper strings. So we're getting a real clean low D there with the open D string ringing, right? You could do that where you just let them ring. But I prefer, because it just kind of drops off a cliff there, right? I think it sounds really good. Okay, and that's it. That's the singing part. Okay, so now you got both those parts together. Let's just play it one time through at kind of a medium speed. Okay, so really, okay, so here we go. 3, 4. Singing. back into that, okay? So that's that whole section. And together with the low one, sounds really, really nice, okay? So hopefully you can find another guitar player to play this with. And it just sounds like magic. And then I ended the thing off just on a harmonic. Okay, trying to leave that low D ringing while you hit the harmonic. Okay, and that's it. So the only other part to learn is the solo, and we'll do that now. Okay, and that kind of takes place in this D major scale. And that's the shape I'm using there. You can, you could do it up there. There's a million places you can do it, but I've chosen to do it here. B10 to E10. And then we just E9, E7, E9, E10. Okay, and then we're back here to E7, B10, E7, B7, B10. Okay, so that's your first phrase. Next phrase. Okay, so we're going to start there on E7, B10, B8, up to E10, and then E9, to E10, to B10. Okay. And then next phrase will be, okay, so we're just here on B8 to B7, G9, E7, B10. B8 to B10, back down. To B7, back to B8, back to B10. The last phrase starts with an arpeggio, right? Which is E10, E7, B8. It's like a G major arpeggio. Right? The fifth, the third, and the root. That's E10, E7, B8. And then B7, B8, B10. And then the D note on G7. Okay, so that whole thing. Okay, and that's the solo. And if you're lucky enough to, be doing this with two guitars, maybe the guy doing the harmony can quit that and do that little solo. And then I, ended the song on that harmonic. Okay, and that's it. I hope you get something out of these lessons, and I hope you enjoy playing this song. It's a great song. It's always been one of my favorites, and sounds really nice, and is really fun to play. All right, we'll talk to you next time.